Hi everyone, I'm Linda Reimer, one of the librarians at the Southeast Steuben County Library. Welcome to Library Connections, our weekly readers, viewers, and listeners advisory video cast. Enjoy. Library Connections number 51. This is the Friday, May 7th, 2021 edition of Library Connections. Kicking things off with the top 5 fiction bestsellers of the week from the New York Times, at number 1, Sully by John Grisham. Samuel Suleiman receives a basketball scholarship to North Carolina Central and determines to bring his family over from a Civil War-ravaged South Sudan. At number 2, Finding Ashley by Danelle Steele. Two estranged sisters, one a former best-selling author, the other a nun, reconnect. As one searches for the child the other gave up. At number 3, A Gambling Man by David Baldacci. Aloysius Archer, a World War II veteran, seeks to apprentice with Willie Dash, a private eye in a corrupt California town. At number 4, Fugitive Telemetry by Martha Wells, the 6th book in the Murderbot Diaries series. When a dead body turns up on Preservation Station, Murderbot must speak to humans. And at number 5, The Hill We Climb by Amanda Gorman. The poem read on President Joe Biden's Inauguration Day by the youngest poet to write and perform an inaugural poem. Our top 5 nonfiction bestsellers of the week are, at number 1, What Happened to You by Bruce D. Perry and Oprah Winfrey. An approach to dealing with trauma that shifts an essential question used to investigate it. At number 2, The Bomber Mafia by Malcolm Gladwell. A look at the key players and outcomes of precision bombing during World War II. At number 3, You Are Your Best Thing, edited by Tarana Burke and Brené Brown. An anthology of writing on the Black experience and shame resilience. At number 4, How Y'all Doin' by Leslie Jordan. A collection of essays by the Emmy-winning actor who became a viral sensation without knowing what that phrase meant at the time. And at number 5, The Body Keeps the Score by Bessel van der Kolk. How trauma affects the body and mind, and innovative treatments for recovery. Our first recommended read for this week is the novel Bone Rattler, a mystery of colonial America written by Ellot Pattison. Having already won an Edgar for his Inspector Shand series, Pattison makes a strong bid for another with this outstanding mystery set in colonial America. Scottish prisoner Duncan McCallum, indentured to the Ramsay Company, is troubled by a series of mysterious deaths that occur on the ship carrying him to the New World. When McCallum's close friend Adam Monroe and a professor who was to work as a tutor are added to the list of the dead, McCallum, who has extensive medical training, is enlisted by the captain to investigate. The shipboard mysteries remain unresolved when they arrive in New York, and McCallum's quest for the truth leads him to perilous encounters on both sides of the French and Indian War. Pattison's moving characters, intricate plot, and masterful evocation of the time, including sensitive depictions of the effects of the European War on Native Americans, set this leagues beyond most historicals and augur well for the future entries in this series. And this is indeed the first book in the series. I've got the reader's notes there at the bottom of your screen. Bone Rattler is first, followed by Eye of the Raven, Original Death, Blood of the Oak, Savage Liberty, and the sixth release is the new one. It's called The King's Beast. Great series. Although it's more historical than mystery. It's a mixture, but it's definitely got stronger historical elements. If you want to walk into the 18th century, this is the type of book to check out. Our second recommended read for this week is nonfiction. It's called Susan, Linda, Nina, and Koki, The Extraordinary Story of the Founding Mothers of NPR, written by Lisa Napoli. Journalist and author Napoli weaves a fascinating, highly readable account of the women of National Public Radio. Written to coincide with the 50th anniversary of NPR's launch, this book is, however, much more than the group bio its title proclaims it to be. Veteran and pioneering journalist Susan Stamberg, Linda Wertheimer, Nina Totenberg, and Koki Roberts are the central players in the narrative, but this book also presents a nostalgic retrospective of the major political, social, and cultural events that helped shape that alternative media. While telling the story of both NPR and the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, Napoli traces the career paths of these four women against the backdrop of key historical events, including the Civil Rights Movement, the idealism of the Great Society, the emergence of Ms. Magazine, and the heady days of feminist activism. Readers are left with inspiring insights into the path-breaking work of these four women, but, more importantly, with a sense of how the status of some women and the role of the media have both changed in the last 50 years. Verdict: readers interested in feminism, women's history, and biography will be rewarded with a great story that deserves to be widely known. And that's the Library Journal review. Our first audiobook recommendation for this week is One for the Money, written by Janet Evanovich and read by Lori Petty. This is the first book in the long-running Stephanie Plum series, and it is a great series to binge read or binge listen to. If you're not familiar with the series, the protagonist is a strong and savvy gal named Stephanie Plum. And the stories in the series all feature a bit of humor and grit. Having said that, let me tell you a little about the book via the starred Library Journal review. First novels this funny and self-assured come along rarely. Dialogue this astute and raunchy is equally unusual. The gutsy heroine introduced here is Stephanie Plum of Trenton, New Jersey, a recently laid-off lingerie buyer who has no job, no car, and no furniture. She does have a hamster, a deranged grandmother, 2 caring parents, and several pairs of biking shorts and sports bras, because every woman should have several of those. But I digress. Back to the unemployed Stephanie. She finds work with her cousin Vinny, becoming a bond hunter, and scrounges enough money to buy a gun, a Chevy Nova, and some mace. Her first assignment is to locate a cop accused of murder. Joe Morelli grew up in Stephanie's neighborhood. Possessed of legendary charm, he relieved Stephanie of her virginity when she was 16, and she later ran over him with a car. In her search for Morelli, Stephanie catches her prey, loses him, and grills a psychotic prizefighter, the employer of the man Morelli shot. She steals Morelli's car and then installs an alarm so he can't steal it back. Resourceful and tough, Stephanie has less difficulty finding her man than deciding what she wants to do with him once she's got him. While the link between the fighter and the cop isn't clear until too late in the plot, Evanovich's debut is a delightful romp, and Stephanie flaunts a rough-edged appeal. That's the Starred Library Journal review of the book. Lori Petty does a great job of narrating the audios in the series. And if you're familiar with the series and you've read them all to date, be advised, the 28th book in the series is called Game On, and it will be coming out in November. Our second audio recommendation for this week is the new novel When Stars Rain Down, written by Angela Jackson Brown and read by Jonice Abbott Pratt. Opal Pruitt is just about to turn 18 in the oppressively hot summer of 1936. She works hard at her job, takes care of her beloved granny, and dreams about boys with her cousin Lucille. The young black teenager's journey to adulthood will be forged in fire, though, when the Ku Klux Klan attacks her neighborhood and she endures a vicious beating at the hands of an unknown white attacker. Although slavery is over, Parsons, Georgia is still starkly divided along unequal racial lines, and Opal begins to fear that her community's thirst for justice on her behalf could ignite a chain reaction with devastating consequences. Verdict: Jackson Brown paints a vivid picture of family and community persevering in the pressure cooker of the Deep South. Readers will be drawn to Opal's intelligent and authentic voice as the book confronts issues of racism, injustice, and white privilege head on. This is a powerful own voices contribution to the historical fiction genre, joining titles such as Alka Josie's The Henna Artist and Kim Michelle Richardson's The Bookwoman of Troublesome Creek in their unflinching look at the past. And that is the Starred Library Journal review. Our first streaming recommendation for this week is the 2016 movie Lion, available through Amazon Prime and Apple TV. I was reminded of this film this past week when, while reading book reviews, I came across one that relays the story of a man in India getting lost, which sounded very interesting. Unfortunately, although that book review reminded me of this great film, I can't for the life of me recall the title of the book. And I haven't yet come across that book review again. So if I discover the title of that inspirational novel and book review in the future, I'll include it in a future edition of Library Connections. Having given you all that build up, Here's a little info on the movie itself. 5-year-old Saru gets lost on a train which takes him thousands of kilometers across India, away from home and family. Saru must learn to survive alone in Kolkata before ultimately being adopted by an Australian couple. 25 years later, armed with only a handful of memories, his unwavering determination, and a revolutionary new technology known as Google Earth, he sets out to find his lost family and finally return to his first home. The movie is based on the memoir The Long Way Home, written by the real Saru Briley, and it's a great film. Our second streaming recommendation for this week is the film Middle of Nowhere from 2012, available through Netflix. Ava DuVernay won the directing award at the 2012 Sundance Film Festival for this sensitive, thoughtful, and moving drama. New York Times film critic Manolia Dargis noted of the film, DuVernay wants you to look, really look at her characters, seeing past the cliches and assumptions of so many other movies, as she tells the story of Ruby, a young nurse whose husband is in prison. Ruby dutifully visits and keeps a candle burning at home, but when a kind bus driver takes a shine to her, she begins to question her choices and allegiances. Cornaldi is a marvelous presence, playing the role with empathy and complexity. And the considerable charisma of Olyello, who would team up again with DuVernay for Selma, makes her dilemma all the more difficult. And that overview of the film is from the New York Times. This week I have 2 bonus streaming recommendations. I'm going to recommend you check out 2 of Olympia Dukakis' films in honor of the great actress who died last week at the age of 89. The first film is Moonstruck from 1987. In Moonstruck, Dukakis portrays Cher's mother. Cher's character, Loretta, is a widow in her 30s who agrees to marry Johnny Camerari, a man she likes but does not love, only to meet and fall head over heels in love with his brother Ronnie. Dukakis takes her supporting role and runs with it. For example, at one point in the film, she asks her daughter about her fiancé's brother, Ronnie, saying to her, "Do you love him, Loretta?" And when Loretta replies in the affirmative, she deliciously says, "Gee, that's too bad." And I'm not doing it justice. She shines in every scene she's in. So check out Moonstruck. The second film is the 1989 classic Steel Magnolias. It's a great movie with an ensemble cast featuring Dukakis, Sally Field, Julia Roberts, Dolly Parton, Shirley MacLaine, and Daryl Hannah. Basically, the film shows the lives of a circle of close-knit female friends, the Steel Magnolias of the title, who all live and work in the same small town. The film is a dramedy with great comedic elements. Julia Roberts portrays the daughter of Sally Field's character, who, despite health issues, decides to have a baby. Daryl Hannah is the mysterious new hire at Dolly Parton's hair salon, and Dukakis' character is a widow with a new man on deck who works hard to get their grouchy friend, portrayed by Shirley MacLaine, to get out more and engage with the world around her, often to hilarious effect. The friends are there for each other through thick and thin, throughout the film, no matter what curveballs life throws at them. Both movies, Moonstruck and Steel Magnolias, can be streamed through a variety of streaming services, including Amazon, Apple, and Google Play. Moonstruck can additionally be streamed through Hoopla, and both films are available to request on DVD through StarCat. Moving on to our Hoopla recommendation, this week I'm going to recommend a movie. It's the 1993 film The Joy Luck Club, based of course on the book by Amy Tan. Every mother longs for the love of her daughter and to break through the barriers that often stand in the way of understanding each other. Every daughter dreams of earning the affection and approval of her mother and to feel that there is something of value to be shared between them. This is the story of four remarkable women whose extraordinary lives are filled with love and tragedy, richness and magic, and who are sustained by the hopes and dreams they have for their daughters. A young woman, June, is invited to join the Joy Luck Club, the weekly mahjong group of her recently deceased mother, Suan. As the portrait of the club's three aunties, Lindo, An Mei, and Yin Ying, unfolds, it reveals a mosaic of the startling events and conditions that have shaped their lives and the lives of their precious daughters. The Joy Luck Club is a great movie. It does occur to me that three of the films that I've recommended this week, well, all three of them, no, not all three of them, just the last three, The Joy Luck Club, Steel Magnolias, and Moonstruck, they're all kind of chick flicks, but if you like chick flicks, they're great movies. And if chick flicks aren't your thing, there will be other titles to check out next week. And on a check it out note, to celebrate the 50th anniversary of its debut, with the launch of the classic new series All Things Considered, on May 3rd, 1971, NPR has published a cool article highlighting 50 great songs that came out during that tumultuous year. Of course, the songs were picked by NPR staff. And it's a really fun article because it's interactive. The videos for all 50 songs are also included in the article. So if you Google NPR's 50 favorite songs of 1971, you should come up with the article you see on the right there, which features at the top a photo of Marvin Gaye. Fun article and videos. Check it out. On another note, to easily be notified when a new Library Connections video is available, just in case you're unable to watch Facebook Live on Friday afternoons, you can choose to follow the Tech and Book Talk blog, as I post links for the Library Connections videos on the blog. So on the left side of your screen, you see what the Tech and Book Talk blog looks like. And I haven't mentioned it yet, but I'm sure you've guessed I host the blog. And towards the middle of the screen on the right side, it says in tiny text, join 3,453 other followers. What you can do is put your email address in the box right underneath that text and then click the turquoise follow button. And you will get an email each time I post something new to the blog, which is 4 times a week. I post the link for the Library Connections videos on Mondays. I offer a suggested reading post on Tuesdays, a suggested listening post on Fridays with recommended music just in time for the weekend, and on Sundays, the New York Times bestseller list posts. So if you'd like to be made aware when there's a new Library Connections video, the videos are actually available through YouTube the Friday previous, but the email will come out on Mondays through the Tech and Book Talk blog. I hope that all makes sense. As usual, if you have questions, shoot me an email. You can even call the library to get in touch with me if you have questions. But that's the hot scoop on how you can be easily notified when a new Library Connections video is available. If you have questions about this weekly videocast, let me know. Send an email to me at reimerl@stls.org and I'll get back to you. Current library hours are, and they have just changed, so you may not have heard about them, but currently the library is open Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m., and that includes Wednesdays now. We are open on Saturdays from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m., and we are still closed on Sundays. The library's website is found at ssclibrary.org. You can access a whole host of information through our website, including our calendar of events and the online versions of our catalogs. StarCat and the BookMine app. StarCat is the catalog of physical library materials available to all card holders of the public libraries in the Southern Tier Library System, which encompasses the public libraries in Steuben, Chemung, Yates, Schuyler, and Allegheny counties. You can find StarCat online at starcat.stls.org, or you can download the BookMine app, which is basically StarCat in app form, and you can download it to your mobile device and access the catalog at your convenience through your mobile device. The digital catalog and its companion apps Libby and Overdrive. The digital catalog features eBooks, downloadable audiobooks, magazines, and a handful of streaming videos. Also of note, you can check out eBooks through the digital catalog and enjoy them on your dedicated e-reader, like the Kindle Paperwhite. For mobile devices, you download the Libby or Overdrive app. The Libby app is for newer devices, and the Overdrive app is for older devices and Kindle tablets. Additionally of note, the digital catalog is found online at stls.overdrive.com, so you can enjoy content from the digital catalog on a computer if you wish. Content in the digital catalog is available for all card holders within the Southern Tier Library System. Hoopla. The Hoopla catalog features eBooks, comic books, full-length albums, downloadable audiobooks, and streaming videos, including both TV shows and movies. All Hoopla items are available for instant checkout for Southeast Steuben County Library card holders with a maximum of 6 checkouts per month. You can download the Hoopla app to your mobile device, video streaming player, or smart TV, or you can go online to hoopladigital.com and check out materials on your computer and enjoy them through your desktop or laptop computer. Communicating with the library. If you have questions about library services during the pandemic, or really at any time, you are welcome to go the traditional route and simply give us a call. Our phone number is area code 607-936-3713. Again, that's area code 607-936-3713. You can also connect with the library via social media. The library has pages on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram. Library blogs. We have our Book Club for Adults blog found at SSCLbook.club, and as you might expect, that features information on the monthly Book Club for Adults. We have the Corning NY History blog, which is our local history blog found at corningnyhistory.com. That features weekly postings that show photos of the area back in the day. And Creation Stationery, the Makerspace blog found at creationstationery.com. That's a complimentary blog for our Makerspace. We have the Story Musings blog, a blog hosted by the library's resident author and head of adult services, Michelle Wells, that can be found at storymusing.blogspot.com. And finally, Tech and Book Talk, a readers, viewers, and listeners advisory blog with occasional helpful how-to tech tips thrown in for good measure, and that's found at sscltech.com. And briefly, here are references of the week. And that's the program for this week. I'll be back next week with a new edition of Library Connections. Have a great day.